Welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name is Angie. Today we are going to be doing a Q3 book haul, and what I mean by that is this is going to be showcasing all of the books I bought between July and September. I've not necessarily put myself on a book buying ban, but I have tried to limit the amount that I am purchasing. So most of the books that you are seeing were either won in giveaways, purchased really cheap, got from Free Little Libraries, or they're part of my book of the month or Aurelia subscription. If you don't know what Aurelia is, I think that's how you say it. It's a new subscription that Book of the Month does with special sprayed edges. I have taken part since their first. I did skip one when I had no interest in any of them, but they're pretty similar to Book of the Month, and I'll show you those when we get there. I think August would be when I got the majority of these books. So we're going to go ahead and start with books that I got from Ollie's Bargain Outlet. All of these books were, I believe, $4.99 or less, and you will still see some stickers on them. I do apologize. I'm the worst about taking stickers off. They don't really bother me other than when they're right on the wording, but you'll see some that do have it there as well. And also, if you need a good tip for taking those off, you can actually use a hairdryer and they come off super quick. You don't need like those scraper tools or anything like that unless you don't own a hairdryer. So just so you know. The first book I picked up from Ollie's was The Book of Night by Holly Black. I remember seeing this a while ago, and I don't think it's part of any series or any interconnected series, so I thought this would be a good way to jump into Holly Black's writing. I believe she's also the author of the Cruel Prince series, and I have read the first one in that, but I was a teenager when I read it because it had came out back then, and I don't remember it. My husband recently read them all and said they were super good, so I think I'm gonna have to read that at some point. I do own the first one. The second book that I hauled from Ollie's was A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book. I don't know what it's about, but when people hype up a book, I want to buy it instantly. So when I saw it for $4.99, I said, absolutely no way I can pass this up. You're going home with me.
You're coming home with me.
The third book I got from Ollie's was Starbringer by Tracy Wolff. I also know nothing about this, but she was so thick, and for only $4.99, this also just felt like something I couldn't pass up. Plus, I love the in papers, so I'm interested in reading this. I don't know what time of year it really gives, so maybe I'll read it, I don't know, anytime. And the last book I picked up from Ollie's is Too Much Lip by Melissa Lukashenko. I'm not 100% how you pronounce her last name, but anyway, I just thought this cover was really cool and really beautiful, and I said, absolutely, let's do it. I have problems when books are like super cheap. I don't feel like I can pass them up, because what do you mean I got all 4 of those for $20? I don't know, and if they end up being like really high star reads, I say it was worth it. The next 3 books you're gonna see are from Free Little Libraries. We actually don't have any around here. Well, we have one, but they only ever throw newspapers in it, and nobody ever puts books back in it, so it's kind of sad. But we had went out of town on a trip, and I ended up taking a whole bag of books with me and like putting them in Free Little Libraries. And when I saw any of the books that I was kind of interested in, I went ahead and grabbed them. None of these are super popular, and I really haven't heard about any of these, but I always love to get new things. So the first one is a sequel to The Shining, Red Rum by Stephen King. I actually don't know if it's Red Rum or Dr. Sleep. I really don't know. And I didn't know it was a sequel either. And I'm not a big horror person. Don't judge me. This might actually find its way back to a Free Little Library. But it was in good condition, and I picked it up, and it was raining, so I was kind of hurrying. Oh, it's called Dr. Sleep. I don't know. I've never watched or read The Shining, so. Oh well. following my mention of not reading horror, I thought maybe I could get into it. I'm not so sure anymore. I think I had a boost of confidence when I was picking up these books. But the next one I grabbed is What Kind of Mother by Clay McLeod Chapman. And this was selected as the best horror of 2023. Again, like I said, it was raining, so I was kind of running and hurrying. And I grabbed books that looked like they could be interesting. I don't know, if I end up reading none of these, they'll just make their way back to Free Little Libraries the next time I go out of town. It's not a big deal. But like I said, I did leave I think I left 25 books or something, so I unhauled quite a bit. The last book I grabbed from a Free Little Library is called The Half Moon by Mary Beth Kean. But this one definitely seems more up my alley, and it's still in really good condition as well. Now we are going to go through my book of the months from July till September. Obviously, this video is not sponsored, but if you're interested in joining book of the month, I do have a referral code, and I'll put it right here. You can get your first read for $5, and I will get my next for free. So I would love you if you do it, because that is exactly how I got these books, some of these books for free. I only actually paid for, I think, 2 or 3 of these. So here we go. The first one I got was Forget Me Not by Stacey Willingham, and it's a thriller, and I'm super excited for this. My book club actually read it this month, but I got behind, so I'm totally going to have to read this sometime soon. Also, another really cool thing about book of the month is they sometimes get selections before they're released. And so this hasn't been released yet, I don't think, but I have Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. It was a September book of the month, so I'm super excited. I've heard nothing but raving reviews for this. And along with this, I also got Ellen Hilderbrand and her daughter Shelby Cunningham's new novel, The Academy. This is the first book that they've wrote together, and I also heard this was Ellen Hilderbrand's first book that takes place outside of Nantucket. I actually have never read an Ellen Hilderbrand book, but I own several. I really should get to it, but I'm honestly excited. This one looks like the perfect fall read. The next book I have here is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I have read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by this author, and it was a 6-star read for me 2 years ago. I can't wait to read this one. I've heard so many good reviews. I don't think I've heard a single bad review, honestly. I feel like most videos I've watched have given this book 4, 5, and even said 6 stars for this book. So I am so excited. My next and my last book for book of the month is Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. Everybody loves a good T. Kingfisher book. I tried to read Sword Heart, and I had listened to it audibly, and I don't think I really liked the narration, and I would love to give it another chance because it sounded super funny. So I'm really interested to go into this one. It sounds really good on the synopsis. It sounds like it could be super interesting, so I'm excited. Now we're going to be talking about some ARCs I have received, but these were all won in Goodreads giveaways that are open to the public. It doesn't matter about your follower count, if you write reviews, anything like that. I've been winning books since 2015. I just enter any that I'm interested in, and a lot of times I win. I feel like the Kindle books are way easier to win, but every once in a while I win a physical copy, and I actually have a couple to show you, so let's jump in. The first one I have here is The Librarians of Lisbon, a World War II story of love and espionage. This one is actually a finished copy, I believe, but I get in the mood a lot of times in fall for a good historical fiction, and I think this would be perfect to read, so I'm very excited. The last physical book I won in a giveaway in the last 3 months was When They Burned the Butterfly by Win Yi Lee. I think this cover is so beautiful. I've really been saving this one for the fall time as well. I honestly was going to pick it up when I first received it. I believe I received it in August, but I'm kind of glad I'm waiting because this seems perfect for September, October, the Burr months. Now we're going to go into our Aurelia or Allurial. I'm not sure how to say it. I'll show you. But I only have 2 of these. They do not have a referral code at this time, but you can bet I will be posting it if they do. I love free things. So anyway, I have their first month they did, which was July. I skipped August and I got September. So I have 2 books to show you. The first one is A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. What I really love is that they do the sprayed edges on the books, which I find to be absolutely stunning. But I am kind of sad with the price we pay. And the end papers are obviously gorgeous, but the price you pay, there's no design on the hardcover or this. I think it's like $26.99, which I do feel is a little bit steep. But for right now, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think they're gorgeous, so I don't see any harm in it. I'll just skip it if I feel my opinion's changing or swaying or anything like that. But I think this is so beautiful. The next book is Song of the Hell Witch, and this is by Taylor Hartley. The next book was just given to me, and I've never heard anything about this book, but it's called Girl 1983 by Lynn Ullman. This isn't my typical read again, but it does seem pretty interesting. It says, this stunning novel explores desire, anxiety, beauty, youth, memory, and power. So I'm interested, but yeah, it's just not something... I choose a lot of reads, I feel like, by the cover, and I personally do not like this cover, but I will be giving it a shot at some point. The next and the last 4 books I will be talking about in this haul were all purchased by me for full price, but obviously there's reasons I couldn't pass them up. So let's talk about them. The first one was People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. She recently came out with a special edition of this one, and I think it is gorgina. And look at these end papers. I actually have never read this one, but I've heard it's really good. I love a good special edition, and I've been limiting myself a lot with them, so occasionally I allow myself to buy one. I used to go over the top with special editions and buy them like crazy, so now that I'm limiting myself, one every once in a while is not bad, I don't feel like. The next one I got from Amazon. I'm so sorry, don't sue me. We actually don't have bookstores here, which is really unfortunate. All we have is Walmart. Our nearest bookstore is 2.5 hours away, and that's just one independent bookstore and a Barnes & Noble. And when we go there, you can bet I'm shopping there. But for now, in a 30-mile radius, all we have is Walmart. So with that being said, I did order this on Amazon. I read the first one in this series and I gave it a 5-star. I have yet to read the second, but I wanted to go ahead and get my hands on the third when it came out, and that was Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. This is part of the Lakefront Billionaire series, and I don't believe I've read any of her other books yet, but I absolutely love the first book in this series, so I can't wait to continue on. The next book I got was actually from TikTok Shop. I got this because the author was advertising her special edition, and what better way to 1, support the author, and 2, feed my desires for special editions. So the first thing I'll show you is the bookmark, and I think this is so pretty. So if you haven't guessed by this bookmark, the book is called Wreck My World by Victoria Ashley. The light is not doing this justice, but look at that. and it's like their motorcycle on the back. If I hold it back here, it looks like you can see it a little bit better. So the back says, "You're mine, Coda, you've always been, F what everyone thinks." The sides are like a galaxy, and it's signed by the author, which I love. And then this is one of my favorite parts. So most of the pages are normal paper, but when we get to a new chapter, how cool is that? I don't know, this is like one of my most prized possessions right now. I haven't read it yet, but it looks so good. I'm afraid to read it and hate it, but I love this edition. I really do. And hopefully I love it, obviously. You want that for all your books. The last and final book in this haul will probably come as no shocker, and that is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Those are silver sprayed edges. So I read this book back when it was on Kindle Unlimited and had the ugly cover of the guy. I know a lot of people like it, but I really don't. And so I actually pre-ordered this one and the second one from Barnes & Noble because I had gift cards I was given for Christmas. And so it just arrived. The second one hasn't come in yet. I think that'll probably come in November when it's released. But I absolutely think these end pages are gorgeous, but they do not look like how I personally pictured the characters. This one's more similar to Kingfisher, but I don't feel like Ceres looks how she's described. I think that's pretty cool with the melting snowflake. Overall, I really think this one stands out the most on the shelves because it's like so, what do you call it? Like the foil is so shiny. Like everybody points out this edition when they come to my house now. I love it. I can't wait for the second one. I hope it's just as good as the first. I read this one time and I think I gave it 4.5, 5 stars. My husband's read it twice now and he is not a big reader, so if that might say anything. But thank you guys if you watched all the way through. This was so fun. I hope to do it again in the next 3 months. Hopefully I still stick with not buying a lot. I feel like it's really saving me money. Just a book here or there purchase wise is great. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you stick around and watch some more of my videos. I love to make them. I love reading. Feel free to like, subscribe, follow, use the bell icon. I don't know how YouTube works. Whatever you want to do that makes me hop on more people's pages would be great. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and see you next time.